You are being lied to about empathy.
The big lie is this, that the moral outrage you see online is a sign of a more just and caring society. It's not. What looks like empathy is actually a hijacked survival instinct, amplified by algorithms into a vicious addiction loop.
To get why this is happening, you need to understand something called a supernormal stimulus. Back in the 1950s, a scientist built a giant, brightly colored plaster egg, and he found that birds would literally abandon their own real eggs to try and incubate the giant fake. The fake was more egg-like than the egg itself. It was a hack.
Your brain has the same flaw. Those viral videos of injustice, perfectly stripped of context and amplified for maximum emotional impact, those are the plaster eggs for your tribal mind. They trigger an ancient protective instinct. But make no mistake, the outrage isn't a byproduct. It is the product.
So this isn't some simple moral debate between good and bad people. It's about a system. And as we're about to see, it's a biological trap that has been set for you. So here it is, the core thesis. The outrage you see online is not empathy. It's a desperate game for status, fueled by addiction and economic fear. And it is rigged, specifically against the professional middle class. They are the ones who are trapped.
And a little later in this explainer, I'm going to show you the exact number, the specific net worth that buys you the freedom to actually think for yourself. Now, if you want to escape the trap, you first have to understand the biological bars of the cage. Because your brain on outrage is not the brain of a philosopher. It's the brain of an addict. Just look at the asymmetry here. It's completely lopsided. On one side, you have the mob. For them, attacking someone feels good. It's a dopamine hit, a reward. On the other side, you have the target. And for them, it feels like physical pain. Their body is flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone. One side is playing a game. The other is experiencing a threat to their survival. Let's put a number on that reward. Punishing someone online who breaks a social rule can spike dopamine by 200 to 300%. Brain imaging shows this is comparable to the reward from cocaine or pornography. And the likes and retweets? That's just a variable reinforcement schedule, just like a slot machine. It keeps you pulling the lever. And for the person being targeted, this threat is not abstract. Neuroimaging studies have shown that social rejection, being canceled, activates the exact same brain regions that process physical pain. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference between a broken reputation and a broken bone. This is how conformity is enforced today. It isn't a rational choice. This system is designed so that aggression is pleasurable and dissent is physically painful. This is a biological control mechanism. But that biological trap is powered by something else, economics. Specifically, the intense status anxiety of the middle class. The fear of falling is the fuel for the outrage machine. To understand this, we need the concept of counter-signaling. Think of a tech billionaire wearing a hoodie to a board meeting. They are so powerful, they don't need to signal with a suit. In fact, wearing the hoodie is a higher form of signal. It separates them from the anxious middle managers who must wear the suit. And this perfectly illustrates what's called the midwit curve. Now, this isn't about intelligence. It's about status. Conformity is weakest at the bottom and the top of the social ladder. The poor have nothing to lose. The rich are too powerful to be canceled. It is the professional middle, terrified of slipping down, that conforms the hardest. They are trapped in the middle. And this data shows a clear stratification. Below $100,000, you get raw social media rants, people with little to lose. From $100,000 to $1 million, you see peak conformity, the mid-managers spouting corporate jargon like DEI. But above $10 million, the signals vanish. You get luxury beliefs, ideas that confer status on the rich but carry costs for the poor. Or you get full counter-signaling, like founders in hoodies mocking the very norms their employees must enforce. This plays out in our language. Data shows mid-level managers use twice as many corporate buzzwords as C-suite executives or junior employees. Why? Because they are the most insecure. The jargon is a shield. It signals I belong because they lack the raw power of the CEO or the indifference of the entry-level worker. So, if biology is the cage and economics is the lock, then what's the key? What is the price of a truly independent thought? The key has a name, FU money. It is the amount of capital that severs the link between what people think of you and your ability to eat. It is the number that neutralizes the cortisol spike of cancellation, because your brain finally knows you will survive. And here is the number I promised you. The data suggests that around $2 million in net worth is the threshold. This is the point where passive income can cover your lifestyle. It's the point where the biological fear of ostracism finally begins to dissolve.
This breaks down into 4 clear zones. Below 100 grand, you're in the survival zone. You have nothing to lose. Between 100K and 2 million is the conformity trap. You have everything to lose. This is where most professionals live. 2 to 10 million is the independence threshold, and above 10 million, that's the sovereignty zone. You don't just ignore the rules, you start to make them.
So let's be blunt. That courage you see online, the willingness to speak an unpopular truth, for most people, it is not a choice. It is a number on a balance sheet. I want to be very clear. This is not a story of heroes and villains. It's the story of a system, a biological trap baited with dopamine, powered by the economic anxiety of the middle class, and supercharged by engagement-hungry algorithms. The ultimate irony in all this? As digital perfection becomes cheap, the ultimate luxury signal is to disconnect. The elite prove their status by getting away from the very noise they profit from. And the rest of us? We are left behind to be the noise. And that leaves us with one final question to consider. What is the one thought you would share with the world if your survival, your very biology, didn't depend on the approval of the